Houston, before we get started with the episode, Ken, can I call you that?
Yeah, we're good. Call me. Wait. Since we talking about the book, go K.A. Wright.
K.A. Wright?
Yeah.
K.A. Wright, man. You got anything you want to say before we start the episode?
Not really, man. Peace, love, light, blessings. Hey, can y'all hear me out there?
We live, man. He's going live.
Send me a put an emoji up or something if y'all can hear me.
No doubt. Before we get started with the episode, man, appreciate you coming out. I appreciate the words you gave to me in pre-production, man. I do episode. Well, Houston, Texas, man. My kid is going on 2 days old. Going on 3 days old today. So tomorrow in the morning time he'll be 3 days old. So I appreciate that love you passed to me before we start the episode off, man. You got anything?
No, man. It's all good, man. You just got it, man. You got to make sure that we got to check in with each other, man.
No doubt.
Know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
It's most important that we check in with ourselves and you check in with other people, man.
No
and
doubt.
Like legit. Because I want you to know that it really came from a place of sincerity.
No doubt.
So,
no doubt. Let's get into the episode, man.
Let's go.
Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." Dear John, the iconic legend Quincy Jones said, "To know where you came from makes it easier for you to get where you're going." Sean Diddy Combs said, "Everyone has challenges and lessons to learn. We wouldn't be who we are without them." If 2018 and the last 6 years taught you something, it's that anything is attainable with the right focus and determination. Continue to build. Continue to promote your vision. Continue to inspire creativity and make more creatives. In closing, Nas said, "No idea is original. There's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. The first chapter of your vision's movements is done. However, you're still a visionary. Peace and blessings. John Ross."
Yo, it feel like 95, Sachi on my body, Biggie, Jigga, Puffy, all that ballin' is a hobby, and I'm wildin' in my body.
Houston, Texas. Welcome back to episode number 16 of the What's Next podcast, a production of Still Visionary Inc. My name is John Ross Dike, and before we get started with the episode, I want to introduce our social media handles so we don't disrupt the flow of the episode when we get on to that point. You can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at John Ross Dike and still_visionary. My website is stillvisionary.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my fan page on Facebook. K.A. Wright.
Yeah. I was supposed to give one too?
Say what?
I was supposed to give one too?
Yeah, go on, give your social media handles.
Cool. Well, you can find me on Facebook at Perfect Just Like You.
Okay.
You can also find me on Instagram at Perfect Just Like You 2018. You can go to my website. It's www.perfectjustlikeyou.com.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
We done.
So listen, man. This is a podcast for the creatives, made by a creative, right? And I like to bring like-minded individuals on and talk about their journeys. And I get the sense that you are a Renaissance type man. I get that sense from you. I get that feeling from you, man. We talked about poetry. If you got anything you want to bless us with before we get started with this episode, man, I'd love to hear it.
Oh, all right. Wow. All right. Well, since we are talking about art,
okay,
I can give you something. I got a piece called "Art." Art is.
Okay.
So you want it?
Go ahead.
Cool. We interrupt this program for a special lesson on art. Art is movement of the culture streamlining directly to you via consciousness and sheer confidence, propelling us forward, dismantling harmful propaganda. Art is healing hearts over the airwaves, adding colors to your thoughts as you stare at distinctive shades that indubitably stains the antiquated structure, bringing life to it once again. Art is adding peace to the streets, connecting distorted conversations, checking the ego, taking responsibility, no more neglecting our communities, bridging the gaps between you and me. Art is intellectual stimulation received, having a meeting of the mind over coffee and tea while discussing the meaning of an intoxicating piece. Art is blood, sweat, and tears, Red Bulls and late nights, gracefully designing sculptures, bringing awareness to our plight. Who would have thought phrases like be someone, me too, or I am enough will be more than enough to help someone fight another ounce to change their well-deserved life. Art is empty spray cans, brittle paintbrushes, eyes lifted on beautiful canvases, captivating photos of interesting beings, hypnotic melodies deeper than gifted bellies, to voice box, a fine-tuned instrument, a social remedy, causing a multitude of energies to sync. However you like to contribute, do your thing. Art is not just a fad. Art is not just a fad. Art is not just a fad. Art is one of the highest forms of expression that enables one to experience the artist's most intimate parts of themselves vicariously. Make no mistake, art is and forever will be. Art is life. Art is love. You may now return to your regular scheduled program.
No doubt. No doubt. Round of applause for that, man. Yo, man, I want to say it's an honor to have you on the podcast, man, because my first encounter with you wasn't even really an encounter. I was talking to Jayla, and Jayla said that she had to replace the character of Jax in Pipe Dreams, man, and that's the first time when she mentioned your name. I think I searched you, and I don't know how we connected on Facebook, but that was the first encounter that I had with you, man. So before we get started with anything else, man, let's talk about the craft of the art of acting for you. What does that mean to you as an actor?
Ah, man, as an actor, the craft, man, it's just being able to live life through art, man. Mm-hmm. Like, being able to listen to someone's story and try to, imitate it. Well, not imitate it, but become it. Yeah. And walk in that person's shoes. And, so I think that sums acting up. Not sums it up for me, but that's a nice piece of it for me.
No doubt.
And there's stories and stuff. Everybody needs to tell their story. And I'm happy to be someone who can, actually do it. Mm. So it's fun. Yeah. It's a fun thing.
The creative juices I get from you, man, I can't, normally when people come onto the podcast and we have these conversations, it's more of a one direction thing, like they already are involved in one thing and that's what they're trying to propel. But I think that the thing that kind of allured me to get you on this podcast, one, I have to say that this is the hottest podcast in the city. Oh, yeah. And I ain't gonna wait for nobody else to affirm me on that. I gotta affirm myself on it, man. This is the hottest podcast on the city, and I need to bring on the creatives that are sizzling, that are bubbling. And man, I just want to get a sense for who you are as a person, man, because our time together will be limited here, but we've interacted on so many different levels before with either it being printing T-shirts or acting, or now this podcast, poetry. But who are you in a nutshell, man, and where you come from? Who are you? Who's K.A. Wright, man?
Well, man, I'm from Raceland, Louisiana.
Okay.
Small town out in Louisiana, of course. Like, Lafourche Parish. 3 streets, man, alley dog. That's where I'm from. Okay. Grew up, I had my mother and my father. Both parents were in my life. Okay. They were divorced when I was very young, but my father still managed to stay in my life. That's, he was still there. He'd come by on the weekends, pick me up on some weekends. So, we got a decent relationship. Yeah. It's rocky, but it still pops. Yeah.
Still got to give him that respect.
Yeah, still give him that give him that respect. Some things I wish that could have happened. Some things I wish that he probably could have done a little bit better growing up. But I mean, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. He was there. I knew who he was.
No doubt.
So that was cool. Mom's pretty cool. Just she goes through a lot, but she was always striving to make sure that we have food in our mouth, and different things like that.
No doubt.
So as far as me in a nutshell, man, I just like to experience things, man. I like to try things.
Yeah.
I don't want to put a limit on myself. I don't want to put myself in a box. I don't want anybody else to put me in a box, because you can't, and it's just me. I'm gonna just keep going and going and going, and I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, no doubt. Have you found your purpose?
I won't say that I found like my purpose in totality. I would say I would say that I'm on a path to finding my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, as I'm finding my purpose, I'm definitely leaving footprints. I'm definitely leaving a footprint somewhere,
mm-hmm.
and hopefully a blueprint to somebody. So as far as finding my purpose, I don't think that's something that you just. I don't think that's something that ever stops.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you say I found my purpose, then life is just over for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nah, I found the piece of something that I was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
A goal. I mean, not a goal, but something that I was supposed to do in this lifetime.
No doubt.
So I think this is one of the things that I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
So, that's how I feel about that.
Okay. The reason why I asked that is because on the podcast episode 14, I had a young lady who spoke emphatically about purpose. And for me, when I've heard people use that term, I never knew which way or how to define it. I don't know if people found that one thing and that was what they're going to stick to for the rest of their lives, because as a creative, I have a few things that I do that I think keep my brain working. You know what I'm saying? If it's not trying to design something and put it on a t-shirt, it's trying to write for film, it's trying to write poetry, it's trying to produce. So when she said purpose, I just wanted to understand what she meant by that. Like, is it something that you know exactly, or does it change as you evolve as an artist?
I think it changes. I think it changes as you evolve, as an individual. Because I would say like, if you let's say purpose, for instance, you go outside, you're eating a sandwich right now.
Mm-hmm.
You probably offer me a sandwich, like, I'm good, I don't want to eat it, but I'm not gonna throw it away. So I walk outside, and then there's this homeless person that's walking. He's probably digging in a trash can somewhere. I have the sandwich. That purpose at that moment was to give this man, this is why he gave me the sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give him this sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
That was a purpose. That was a purpose fulfilled at that point. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't think it just limits to artistry. I think it limits to it's everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you can find purpose in a day, or find purpose in a gift, find purpose in things, and I don't think purpose ever stops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're on a tour right now. Is that right to say? How do you define what you're doing at this exact moment?
Man, right now at this exact moment it's really like I'm just going with it however it comes.
Yeah.
Somebody give me a call and say, hey, we want you over there, we want to see you, we want this, we want X, Y, and Z. Yeah. I'm there. Like, that's just what it is.
Okay.
A lot of things with this is purpose right here, because like things just kind of just opened up.
Yeah.
As I go along, as I keep moving forward, new connections are being made.
Yeah.
People, hey, I like what you have. Come over here on Thursday.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm down Thursday. And that's just how I've been rolling. So I hopefully within this, I just took on a manager the other day.
Yeah.
And I have a coach too. So
acting coach or writing coach?
No, just a business coach.
Okay.
Business coach, Nikki Jackson. Manager Sam. They so hopefully, they help. They're able to help me move in a different, be more structured when it comes to this, because this is a new space for me.
No doubt.
I have the ideas and the things that I want to do.
No doubt.
It's like it'll be more structured.
Okay.
Hopefully, and so I'm looking for more structure when it comes to that.
Okay. So, speaking on the times we've interacted before, I remember I either hit you up or you hit me up to print some T-shirts about the Perfect Just Like You, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the way I want to go with it is this. I think that creatives are motivated by experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you as the author, K.A. the author, right? There was a time period when I was traveling. I think I went to the East Coast and I was stuck in a snowstorm. I rode the bus to New York City. I rode the bus back to Philadelphia. And then I was laying on a couch one night and I started jotting a story that I wanted to create, a book in some form. So I got up to about 55,000 words. And then the experience just fizzled out because I was no longer in that space. Talk about the experience that you used to create Perfect Just Like You.
Well, at that time, I wasn't in a good headspace.
Okay.
At that time, and to go back a little bit before I say this,
yes,
this is definitely one of the clearest times in my life.
Okay.
So when you say about purpose,
okay,
I wanted to clear that up and say I'm definitely the most clearest I've ever been.
Okay.
You know, like
what do you mean by that?
Like, because as far as like normally, there's a lot of words and there's a lot of stuff up here that do this, that, you know, and it fires off. Creativity, it comes, it flows.
Okay.
You know, it's a part of me.
Okay.
And I want to create this and I want to create that, but right now, I feel like the noise. It's not a lot of noise anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's more
no doubt.
intentional now.
No
like
doubt.
I know I have to be quiet and I have to listen now. So I have the ability to do that now. But now back to the other question, how did that come about?
The experience.
The experience. Wasn't in a good place at that time at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, depressed. I was, you know, just I was supposed to move to Georgia.
Okay.
And for me moving to Georgia, like things just went crazy.
Okay.
Like, you know, car was messing up, like all kinds of stuff was just happening, and found myself outside of place, and I found myself sleeping in the car. Really, found myself sleeping in the cars, and found myself like staying over at people's houses, people kicking you out. You know what I'm saying? You taking showers in gas stations, like doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You know, all in the name of
being an artist.
Well, I would say being an artist, but just going through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't trying to go back home. You know, so that's just the thing. So, you know, I had to stick that out. One of my friends, he had this abandoned apartment that he was living in. So my like apartment was like, you ever seen Joe's apartment?
Yeah.
It was like Joe's apartment. He was out. He had but he had moved out of there and stuff. But he had like, you know, it was crazy. But anyways, he still was kind enough to keep the door unlocked for me because he wasn't living there. You know, it got bad and he was like, I'm getting out. I can't do it. You know? So, but he left the door. I used to jump the fence and go up in there and, you know, rest up. So I used to take like toilet paper and put it in my ears to make sure like nothing, you know, nothing would crawl up, you know, whatever. And but anyways, I was sitting in there one night. It was cold. I remember that. And when I write poetry, I hear it. It's like I can almost like it's almost like someone's telling it to me, and I just write it down just like that. So I probably write it in like 5 minutes or something. But that's when I heard that Perfect Just Like You, and so I was like, I probably just like, I ain't writing no children's book, you know, like, you know, I ain't writing that, like not right now, you know. But then I was like, Perfect Just Like You, and I was just thinking about it, and I was writing it. I was like, okay, this rhymes. This is nice, you know. Okay, whatever. And then after that, it's kind of stuck with me for a little bit, and I was just kind of writing it out. Boom, boom. Then I finally met somebody to get the idea out, and that situation didn't work out. You know, didn't work out at all. It started off, I thought it was going to be something good, but it didn't work out. So I ended up having to go back to the drawing boards, meet and And well, there was this guy I was supposed to go to at first. I was supposed to go to my artist Starbucks at first, but I thought he was too expensive, and I didn't have the money like that anymore.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that didn't work. So I ended up trying to find somebody else, and the idea was of this little black girl. It was one little black girl, and then down the line, we changed that because that situation. It's just that person wasn't meant to bring this part to life.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy, Starbucks, caught the day. I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know what's gonna happen. All of a sudden, I get a phone call. I get like a text message or an email or something, and I looked at it. It was Starbucks. And he was like, hey, man. He was like, you still want to work on that project you was talking about? It was months later. I talked to him in months. And I was like, I'm going to go with him because he called me right when I just said this. And he called me at this time. So that's what made me push forward with him.
Okay.
In that process right there.
Do you believe in coincidence?
I think synchronicity. I think everything is synchronized to happen in a certain way.
Okay.
A certain time. Even the time, even I believe in numbers, time, everything. Everything is orchestrated to happen a certain way. So it ain't really, there's no really mistakes. It's more like lessons. And I know it's cliche. I'm pretty sure you heard it before. But I would say definitely lessons.
No, I've never heard that before. I've heard that one of my good friends says that nothing happens by coincidence. She says that often. Nothing happens by coincidence. And I understand what she meant by that, but I just want to ask you that because it just seems like that's not how it operates. So for you, just the direction of the podcast, we started off with art, we talked about acting, and then you talked about a creation, and I want to ask you next. So when do you feel that the creation ever needs to be edited or changed? Meaning, what I mean by that is, you said that you heard "Perfect Just Like You," and it came to you, and then you started jotting it down, and that was it, or did you ever feel like, nah, that might not be the right timing, nah, this might not be right, let me do it like this? How did you go about like saying, okay, after I've done this or after I've heard it? I mean, for me, that's why I asked you, do you believe in coincidence? Because I'm just kind of the way you write poetry, you said, is that you hear it. And is that the same with Why a Child's Book, though? Why? Because, I mean, the art on your shirt shows children. Why a Child's Book, though?
Well, I would have to say when it happened, with the thing that pushed me through, I would say the thing that pushed me through is because of my little cousin.
Okay.
My little cousin and my niece. I have nieces and nephews.
Okay.
And one day my aunt told me that my little cousin, she had trouble with identifying with little black Barbie dolls. So that was the thing that, like, okay, this needs to happen.
Okay.
This needs to happen. I can't, because I was going to just push it on the side.
Okay.
And then come back to it later.
I think that was a piece I was missing. I think that was a piece that was missing of the creation. Okay.
Yeah. And I kind of went back and forth.
No problem.
So, having her, hearing her going through that, and so that was the thing that kind of made me like really, really push through it with it. Like, okay, let me write this stuff down. Let me make this really what it is. Because I only had a few of them, a few poems at first about it, But then once I did that, that was like, okay, this is something nice. So I started tweaking. Starbucks had the templates, certain things and stuff like. So I was like, all right, well, let me use. I want her to look like this. I want her to look like that. Then I showed my little cousin. Mm-hmm. I showed it to my little cousin, and she was like, that's me. So it instantly changed. It changed my mind. Okay. So it's cool. And my little niece and my little cousin, they have the same name. Okay. So it worked. You know what I'm saying? So it really worked.
Okay. Today is May the 22nd, 2019, and we have 223 days left in the year. What do you hope to attain in those 223 days?
What do I hope to attain? How many days we have?
223. And let me give you a little backstory. Let me give you a little backstory behind that that countdown. So it was 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my then business partner had asked me, no problem. My then business partner had asked me, hey man, I see you, I see the countdown on Twitter. Why do you do that? And so many times people say with your goals, you need to write them down to bring them to life. You need to write them down and track your steps towards attaining those goals. So I said to myself, well, we've been doing the same thing, and these are the part of the conversations I had just alone. We've been doing the same thing for so long, and we've never given ourselves a time limit to attain what we're looking to attain. So I said, in last year was 2018. In 365 days, what can I say that I can touch tangibly? This is what I got in those 365 days. And so towards the end of last year, it was the whole aspect of leaving that creation and starting something new that I had full control over. And so when I pose that question, it's more along the lines of, what do you see yourself touching tangibly before the end of the year is up?
That's good. I want a lot. I have great expectations of myself. For the end of this year.
No doubt, because I mean, same thing for me. That's what I wanted all of this, and then I had to say, okay, well, if I don't get it all, if it's just half a thing, one thing. So for me, prime example, in the 223 days, I think about 225 I had my first child into the year, and that was, as I aged, I'm 34 now, going on 35. So as I was getting older, around 30, I started to think to myself, when is it going to happen? You know what I'm saying? When am I going to have a kid? But I didn't want to do it I wanted to do it the traditional way, get married, spend some time, man and wife, and then have a kid. And I just, happened to get married at 33. And I was just, the time was kind of ticking. So this year, episode 1, I said, what was next for me was having a kid, and my kid came early, but I'm just blessed. I feel great to finally be a father. You know what I'm saying? So when I pose that question, I say to all the creators, what do you want to attain? Because it's a two-part question. The last question I'll ask you has everything to do with the podcast name, but this question is more along the lines of the countdown until the ball drops for January 1st.
Okay. Well, the humble answer to that would be, and it isn't it's very, it's authentic.
Okay.
It's an authentic answer.
Okay.
I want to touch as many lives as I can. I want to be able to touch and I want to be able to touch as many lives as I can within these next few months of these 223 days.
Okay.
I want my work to be in just about not just about, I'm going to just go all the way forward. I want it to be all across the country. I want it to be overseas.
Yeah.
I want it to be in everyone's school.
Yeah.
I want it to be in everyone's homes. I want people to be really reading this to their children. I want them to really be working toward actually practicing this stuff. That's what I want. Everything else gonna fall. Everything else gonna fall, and after everything else gonna come with it.
Okay. Okay.
But I definitely, for that exchange, for me to accept. Of course, we want money. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants money. It's a driving force. It's what we need.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, the exchange for me would be that I've seen that actually happen. That actually transforms some people.
No doubt.
And then I can fully accept the currency that comes along with it.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that first things first. I definitely want to see a whole bunch of little individuals running around here. Just changing things. You know what I'm saying? Like sparking minds. And that's what I want.
Yeah, because you have a kid in a wheelchair, you have Asian kid, Hispanic kid, black kid, a dark kid, and then you have, I don't know, she might be Indian or something like that, and then you have a Middle Eastern kid on there, and then who's the other child on the end?
Well, basically, I try to make them more ambiguous.
Okay.
Okay. Because we have we have East Indian brothers and sisters that's
No
darker
doubt.
than us.
No
and
doubt.
When you're like, yeah, that's a
No
African
doubt.
American. Like, nah,
No
you're
doubt.
East Indian.
Mm-hmm.
So around the world, you have people that look like us. That
Yeah.
you wouldn't think they look like us, right?
No doubt.
You have dark Asians. You have all of So the thing is, though, I didn't really want to convey that. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
just wanted, if this child looks like you, if it looks like you and you resonate with that child, then you can say that's me.
Yeah.
And that helps you. It helps you identify with that child, but also the message is to teach and show everybody that that you're perfect the way you were created.
No doubt.
Nothing religious. It's just you're perfect the way you were created.
No doubt. No doubt.
It doesn't matter your race, your ethnicity. It doesn't matter your
physical
capabilities.
No doubt. No doubt.
Religion. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're perfect, and the thing is though is that you're different.
Yes.
You're different.
Yeah.
You can't just classify somebody and put them in this group. It's like you say you're this type of person. You're different.
Yeah.
You're different, and that's what makes you. That's the thing that makes you perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I just think about if everybody was running around here looking a certain way. Oh, I'm trying to be like you. Where's the uniqueness in that?
Yeah.
Where's the creativity? Where's the you're different.
Yeah.
But you have to embrace. You have to love yourself and embrace yourself. Embrace everything about yourself, and that in turn will help you to love and embrace everything about someone else.
Okay. Okay.
That's where I'm going with that.
No doubt.
So
No doubt.
notice you see my child right here in the wheelchair.
No doubt.
She in the wheelchair. She's sickly, of course, but that doesn't mean that she isn't perfect.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that she should have to feel less of herself because she's in a wheelchair.
No doubt.
It's like she might have the greatest joy ever,
Mm-hmm.
But what that does to another child may see her who don't understand and who don't know her condition. It may cause them to bully her, pick on her. How you look like that? And kids could be mean because we're adults. We get it from childhood. So
Super.
it's all this stuff, man. Same thing.
What song's on your mind right now?
I would have to go with Most Def.
Okay.
Shine Your Light.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's my Umi. My Umi says, I don't know the name of it, but that's my song. My Umi says, shine your light on the world.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, that's my song right there.
And when I thought, before I had a clear understanding of what Perfect Just Like You was, I was going to go Nas, I Can. But I'm going to go Nas, Black Zombie. I don't know if you've ever heard that track. I heard that one. It's off it's on the Lost Tracks LP. It basically is talking about the black race being stuck in their ways and not willing to branch out. So, and the reason why I picked that song is because, let's talk, for example, Perfect Just Like You. Some people might not, and the individual might think that how they look is not the way they're supposed to look. They're supposed to look a certain way. And Nas in that track is saying basically that we have been programmed to think that what we see on TV is the way we should live our lives. The way we see people act on TV is how we should act. And so Black Zombie will be the song that I can hear in my head right now, in particular according to what songs on my mind.
I would definitely say Nas is right about that. I'm gonna listen to that song too.
Yeah.
Now that you gave me a
Black
song,
Zombie off
checking it out.
Off of the Lost Tapes LP. They were tracks that he never released, and he put them together, and it made for a classic album. If I get stranded anywhere, that's one of the LPs that I'm taking with me. If I only had that no other LPs besides that would be one. A couple of R&B LPs would be one.
Wait, that's the brown looking CD.
No, that's the one with the cassette tape and the Queensbridge behind it. The one that has Fetus on their belly button window. It has Papa Was a Player, Purple. Has a whole bunch of. It has fire. Before I put everybody on that LP that I introduced to Nas, listen to that one first. and it'll open your mind as to who this artist, who this dope MC is. So that's why I put everybody on the Lost Tapes. So man, is just like you age. I mean, I'm sorry, Perfect Just Like You. Is that age specific?
Yeah. Well, I have it for it's for like ages 3. I wrote it. Well, really, you know what? To be honest, it's really not, because I mean, you can read it to your child while it's in the womb.
Okay.
You know, you should be reading that thing while it's in the womb. And
Okay.
so
I need a copy of that
yeah,
tonight.
cool, got it.
Tonight, I need a copy of it tonight.
Yeah, but you can read that
No doubt.
while they're in the womb. To man, you know, maybe children start at a certain age. Of course, they start trying to branch out, or whatever. Those things will stick with them. You know,
Okay.
and that's my beliefs.
Okay.
And that's, I wouldn't have put it out if I didn't have a strong belief in it. You know.
No doubt.
But
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the coloring book, one, I would say if your child is about 5, if they like got perfect understanding, and they can they can read and they can color and they can kind of write and comprehend stuff like that, I would say then you would get that for them if they're around 5, 6 or something like that, 5, 6 to like 12 or something, because in there I'm asking questions about how they feel about themselves.
So you've written 2 parts.
Yeah, it's 2 books.
2 books.
One is the regular book, and the other is the coloring book. The coloring book speaks to. It also, I just give the child a place to. It's intended use as a therapeutic piece of art for the child can express themselves by writing and adding color to their world as they see fit.
Yeah.
So basically, when parents read the children write, they can figure out what a child has an insecurity, and then they can put them on the right path.
No doubt. So, man, the What's Next podcast is all about bringing creatives on and talking about their journeys, man. So I got 2 things before we wrap the episode. The first thing is a question I like to pose to everybody on here. The last question I'll ask you is, what's next for K.A. Wright?
What's next for me, man? A lot. I'm more into, of course, like I said, I'm an actor. I want to get more into acting. I want to get more into. I write screenplays. I write movies as well. So I have a few of those scripts that I want to start putting together. More books, cartoons, apps. I want to do. I got a whole bunch of stuff. That I want to do. Yeah. So yeah, not that I want to do, that I will do.
Yeah. That affirmation is key.
All right.
That affirmation is key. So man, on the podcast, man, what I like to do on the podcast is I like to give a gift out to every creative that comes on. It's a black SVI t-shirt, and it's exclusive to the state of Texas and the city of Houston. Only people that get that particular tee outside of myself are the creatives that come on, man. It's just a gift that I like to impart on everybody who comes out, man. Appreciate you for being on the show.
I appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
Appreciate you.
Houston, Texas, man. That's our time. Peace and blessings.
Yo, it feel like 95. Sachi on my body. Biggie, jigger, puffy. All that ballin' is a hobby. And I'm wildin' in my wallies. Them valleys, no Pilates. Moet get you Moet. Nah, that's the Spumante. My crystal ball, I see crystal. I crystal y'all with that. I saw the sign like Ace of Spades. That Ace of Spades get cracked me like cheers to the money guys. The Willie niggas who buy them bottles. And then they spill these liquors. Yo, salute my dude. I see you, dawg. 5 bottles, 1 dick. Why I need 2 bras? I know I'm out of line, but love is shower time. You know it rose rain when your cloud is 9. Get off that high ass hussy. This a private party. Been on my dick too long. Your breath on private party. You gon' be nice or naughty. These walls on priceless art.